This is the wrap up of my Isle Royale 2024 trip. I'll start out by saying it was amazing. Um, so, kind of summary of it. I went to Isle Royale with the Sierra Club. It was a service event. There were 10 of us that went. It wasn't promoted as or billed as a women's trip, but it turned out that it was all women. We had 10 women. There were 2 leaders and 8 participants. And other than the 2 leaders knowing each other, nobody knew anybody else on this trip. So we did, and I know you hear this about other things, but it truly did happen that we came there as a bunch of strangers and we left as friends. We worked together, we lived together, we shared laughs together, we shared meals together. It was a good experience. So Isle Royale is I'm gonna mispronounce this, but it's an archipelagic, whatever that word is. So it's a whole bunch of islands, like 450 plus islands. Some of them are really teeny tiny. Isle Royale is the largest. It is 9 miles wide and 45 miles long. We stayed at 3 Mile Camp for the whole week, well, except for the last night. And that's where we did our service work. So we painted shelters, cleared trails, repaired boardwalks. Oh, how could I forget this? We cleared out invasive plants, specifically the daisies. So I know y'all love daisies, but they are very, very invasive. And there was one of the campsites at 3 Mile Camp that when I walked in there, it was like all you saw were daisies, and it was beautiful. It really was. It was beautiful, but daisies are not native to Isle Royale. And so me and one other woman, we kind of took it upon ourselves that we were driven to get rid of all the daisies in 3 Mile Camp. We filled 3 great big garbage bags full of daisies, and when we left, I can honestly say that there was not a daisy blooming anywhere in 3 Mile Camp. So anyhow, so it was a work trip. We worked from like 9 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. We got a lunch break, and then we had 5 days of work, and then we had 3 days off. One was a travel day, and so on our days off, the one day we hiked up to Daisy Farm and then Mount Ojibwe, where there's a fire tower, and I had that in one of my videos. So we did that, and that was really nice to go up there to the top of Mount Ojibwe and look around and see some of the inland lakes. And then we just did some kind of hiking around there. Oh, we hiked down to Daisy Farm, though. Yes, so we hiked to Daisy Farm. Oh, and then the one day we did go on the Forest Service boat. They took us over to visit this old fishing. It was a fishing house, shanty? No, somebody lived in it years and years ago. And anyhow, so it's still set up with all the old fishing equipment, so you're able to tour that. And then down the path was a lighthouse to go and visit, and then down the other path, the other direction, is the home of Candy and Ralph Peterson, and they have been there since, I don't know, I think it was like, I don't know, very long time, 1970s. studying the wolf and the moose population. So I have a video about that. And oh, they were such interesting people, just totally, it was so delightful speaking with them. Very, very positive people. So anyhow, so on our last night we spent in Rock Harbor, so because that's where the ferry leaves from Rock Harbor. So Forest Service took us up to Rock Harbor, and then we spent the night at the camp there. That was a really nice site because there was and I think it was like a little inlet from Lake Superior, right, not too far from our campsite. And so during the night we heard the loons. The loons were calling all night. And then I woke up once during the night because I heard an ambulance, and it's like, how could I have heard an ambulance? There's no ambulances on Isle Royale. And I realized it was the wolves howling. And oh my God, it was incredible. So, oh, speaking of, so so there are no vehicles on Isle Royale. They're not allowed, and they're not there. The Forest Service has vehicles over on Mott Island, but Isle Royale is vehicle free. It is so incredibly quiet. There's no cell service, so for the whole week you did not see anybody staring down at their phone. Everybody was like looking at you, looking at the nature, like looking at each other. So when we got to Rock Harbor, I did see somebody, not from our group, but somebody on their phone, so they must have had cell service. I checked mine just out of curiosity, and I didn't have any bars. So so let's see. So Rock Harbor, there is if camping and backpacking is not for you, there is a lodge there with, I think there's like housekeeping cabins, they call them, and then there's also rooms in the lodge. There's a restaurant there and a snack bar, and there's 2 shops where you can pick up souvenirs and also some food. So while we were at Rock Harbor, we hiked down, we hiked down to Scoville Point, and oh, that was beautiful hiking out there. And you get out to the tip, and like you have Lake Superior all around you. Oh my God, seeing Lake Superior, and all of us often were saying, when we would refer to Lake Superior, we would say, oh, look at the ocean, because it is so massive that you're thinking that it's an ocean when it's in reality it's a lake. So did I say so? Isle Royale is 9 miles by 45 miles. Oh my goodness, I almost forgot to talk about the critters of Isle Royale. So there are wolf and moose. Right now the moose population is up and the wolf population is down. There's beavers, there are fox, there's I had such a cute encounter with a fox. So we were told to watch out for the fox because they have been known to come into camp and steal people's shoes. So one day I was clearing brush from around a shelter, and I laid my pack, my little day pack, on a picnic table outside the shelter. So I'm working around the back, and then I come around the front, and about, 10-12 feet away from me, there stood the biggest, healthiest looking fox I have ever seen. And so I looked at him, I looked at my pack, he looked at my pack, I looked back at him, and I said, no, and I grabbed my pack. Well, I didn't leave my pack lay around anymore after that. So Let's see. So they have field mice. We didn't encounter any except for one dead one on the trail one day. And squirrels, little red squirrels. They say that these squirrels are a subspecies of red squirrels because they're smaller than the ones you'd find back on the mainland. Oh, and martins, and they have martins. So that's it as far as mammals go. Birds, there's eagles and seagulls. We saw some sandhill cranes, blue jays, ovenbirds, and a winter wren. I don't know, I'm not a birder, so I'm sure there are a lot of other birds there, and I just don't know. Yep, so that's it as far as critters. Oh, and I forgot to mention this too. So, I went there and with the purpose of, I wanted to see a moose. I have said for years now, I can die happy once I see a moose. Well, most everybody in my group saw a moose, but me. So, I guess I'm not going to die yet, because I'm going to see that elusive moose before I go. We did have a wolf that skirted around the one side of our camp, and I was not in camp at the time. Some people got pictures of it though. Pretty awesome. I'm not going to post that on here because I didn't take the picture, so I can't, it's not right for me to show it. Anyhow, so that is it for animals, birds, whatever. So from Rock Harbor, you can pick up water shuttles or water taxis, and they will take you just for like to different sites or different campsites, different campgrounds on the island. You can do that. There's also like a tour boat that will take you around to like see the sunset or go to visit different islands. So that's available. I don't know. I don't know what else to say except for to tell you I love it. I love it so much. I'm going back next year. I'm going back. My intention is to go back twice. I'm a real native plant nut, and the pulling out those daisies, I know it sounds crazy, but I got so much joy in like pulling out those daisies, because then when we did, then you could see native plants. The plants that were there when the indigenous people were there are still growing there, but they were hidden by these daisies. So I did find 2 different organizations that do native plant restoration work there. So I've contacted them. I'm on a wait list with one, and the other group, they don't have their dates set yet. So my intention is to go back and do something like that. Possibly I'll go back with the Sierra Club. Every year they go to a different camp, so maybe I'll go back with them. I also would like to go and do some backpacking on my own. Maybe, if some friends want to come with, I'll bring some select friends with. So anyhow, if you like peace and quiet and beauty and Lake Superior, oh, and eagles, because we saw eagles, sandhill cranes. That was the other thing I want to tell you about, how clean it was there. People really respect and take care of Isle Royale. So for the whole 8 days that we were there, I picked up 2 little bitty pieces of litter that, probably somebody just certainly unintentionally, it fell out of their pocket or their pack or whatever. Very, very clean, no papers, no cigarette buzz. It's beautiful. So I'm going back. If you want to go to Isle Royale, let me know. I'm Karen. and I'm growing.